What is the purpose of the ancient cities? How do they fit into the overarching story and lore of Minecraft? At a glance, they appear to be these long abandoned underground communities. From barracks for ancient military, and ice boxes to keep food frozen, to saunas to relax in, and small statues in the shape of the warden's head, these cities contain multiple structures that hint at a forgotten society. At the city's center, there's the massive portal. While developers have never outright said that this structure is a portal, players have figured out that the Warden's Head statue, those little ones that appeared in the 1.19 snapshots, they had duplicate versions called Small Portal Statue. That small statue being the same shape as the statue in the middle of the city center, and the city center being made of reinforced deep slate, has led people to believe that it is in fact a portal. I agree with this. I think it is a portal. But what good is a portal if there's nothing beyond it? Indeed, many have been wanting a Sculk dimension added to the game, but what would a Sculk dimension look like? Where would it fit into the game's progression? What kind of mobs, gear, or structures could be waiting on the other side? These possibilities can lead to endless speculation, which can be fun, but I don't think this dimension will come to the game, at least not for a while. But it's fun to theorize, so let's talk about what a Sculk dimension could look like. There are already tons of data packs out there, each with their own ideas of what a Sculk dimension could entail. Packs like Deeper Dark showcase the dimension as an almost extension of the caves seen in the overworld, or like another form of the Nether, which is already pretty much just massive caves. Other data packs like The Other Side give me more of like an eldritch horror kind of vibe. This data pack captures what it would look like if the overworld was taken over by Sculk. Forests and fields and ocean all run over with Sculk. There are multiple ruined structures with their own creatures and lore to go with them. This atmosphere makes you feel truly alone, and there is a constant threat of danger looming over you. I think this data pack, while limited by the fact that it's a data pack, there actually might be a mod version as well, so don't quote me on that, does a really good job of passive and active storytelling. Delving into the lore books, it seems that this world was once flourishing with life until researchers discovered Sculk and wanted to use it to power their society and dimension hop. This mistake would cost them their whole world. This data pack seems to be going for like a twisted yet familiar vibe. Looking around at the trees made of Sculk and basalt, you'd honestly think you'd somehow been teleported to just a different version of your own world, where the Sculk had taken over. I think a potential Sculk dimension needs to be absolutely terrifying and extremely challenging. The Warden is difficult enough as it is, but I think it's balanced in that it can be countered if you kind of know what you're doing. Perhaps a new dimension could feature enemies that elaborate on this idea. I think most mobs from this dimension should share the Warden's trait of being blind and utilize different kind of senses to seek out the player. Perhaps if a player steps on a certain type of block and the mob is nearby, it can feel the vibrations in the floor and then come after you. But if you know what blocks to look for, you can avoid it. Another possibility could be a mob that actively stalks the player and hunts you down. Every mob in Minecraft just kind of roams around until you get within a certain radius of it, and then it attacks you. Imagine you are walking around in this new dimension, and you see something out of the corner of your eye, but it quickly slips behind something. Maybe you just imagined it. You hear footsteps behind you, and soon the sounds are becoming too frequent to ignore. Before you know it, you're attacked. This process could take upwards of like 10 minutes. This should be avoidable though, and once the enemy starts stalking you, there should be a way to throw it off or keep it at bay for a limited time. But theoretically, this could all just devolve into talking about Minecraft's lackluster hostile mob AI. Most Minecraft players do not fear the enemies they take on. They all kind of work the same. The only exception to this would be the mob bosses, such as the Warden. I think Mojang could seriously improve their AI and allow for some seriously terrifying mobs in this frightening new dimension. But maybe that's a topic for a different day. Let's move away from mobs for a minute to talk about the mechanics of this dimension. Something I would really love to see is Mojang forcing players to abide by some kind of time crunch. In every dimension that Minecraft currently has, you can explore them at your own pace, provided you have the materials to do so. Imagine a status effect similar to something like freezing, but much slower. Perhaps something like toxic mist is in the air, and players can only spend so much time in there before it begins to eat away at your maximum health. Something that gives players a time limit in which to return home would make exploring this world all more terrifying. Players would never be allowed to feel comfortable. There is constant dread. And there should be no way to counter this either. Maybe like some custom gear to slow down the process, or maybe some custom enchantments that slows down this process of toxic mist. Perhaps the toxicity level could rise when players are near particular structures, giving them an incentive to seek out this other new gear in other locations. This would create the feeling that they not only need this gear to survive, but that they should be proud of their accomplishments when they get it. This is all to say that the Sculk dimension needs to feel extremely hostile, but extremely rewarding. Similar to what I mentioned in my end video, I'd love to see a new set of tools or armor that acts as an alternative to netherite come from the Sculk dimension. This all leads into my opinion that Minecraft's endgame needs branching paths. Everyone just kind of does the same things once they get the best gear and tool. With how open Minecraft's world is, it is shocking how little choices you have when it comes to the gear you could come up with, especially in the endgame. Everyone wears netherite, everyone has the same or similar enchantments. Just imagine a version of Minecraft that features multiple endgame gear sets. Not a ton, but with just enough variety to give players the choice that yields differing outcomes. Again, I mentioned this in my end update video, but imagine a sort of ender armor that negates all damage from ender pearls that you can craft in the same way that you craft netherite, upgrading it from diamond. Now imagine a Sculk armor, or maybe some kind of like reinforced deep slate armor, that negates the effects of toxicity that I mentioned, or perhaps it's stronger than diamond, but makes you run slower. This is something you could do now with MBT data. If I wanted to, I could make this armor myself and put it like on my server or something and give it out to people who, I don't know, do something cool. Overall, I think Minecraft players have been too good at the game for too long. Sure, Minecraft should be accessible to all, but to me, the best part of a game is learning and overcoming challenges. Even in less stressful games like Minecraft, the challenge of getting diamonds is one that still excites people. Mojang can reignite that excitement by giving us something truly unknown and difficult. Here's a hot take. I think it would actually be really smart for them to not do snapshots for this kind of update. Perhaps have private testings with like NDAs to keep people, in the dark about it. Oh, I just realized that's a pun. Just don't let us know what is going on the other side of that portal until we make the decision to jump through it, completely unaware of the danger that has put ourselves in. Now, this would be a big risk. This would be a huge risk because Minecraft loves their snapshots. We love our new features, right? But I think if you're going to make something truly terrifying, you cannot know what you're getting into. But, you as the player could choose to be spoiler free. You could choose to hide that from yourself, but whatever. There's just one small problem about all of this, though. I don't think Mojang has any intention of adding this dimension. I think ancient cities are perfect the way they are, and the portal in the city center is designed to induce fear of what could be on the other side. The warden is already powerful. What else could be out there? I think ancient cities were designed to warn players, to say, be careful about asking for new dimensions. Not every portal should be opened, which is already kind of true for Minecraft. The end is dead and empty, and the nether is a hellscape that maybe at one point attempted to invade the overworld. I don't think Mojang was trying to tease us with the addition of an upcoming new dimension. I think they were telling us that we will not get one because look at what can come out of it. From a storytelling perspective, this is really smart. I love it. Some big portal in an abandoned city surrounded by a foreign substance that has slowly been spreading beneath the earth. It should terrify you to think about what could come out of that portal. But leave it to humans to always seek to conquer a new place. The warden serves as the antithesis to man's hubris. It's a warning that we are not meant to conquer everything in our path. Look at the destruction that can occur if we try. Viewing the Sculk and the warden from this perspective really makes you question the choices you make in Minecraft. Seeing how these ancient people brought this dangerous creature and substance into the world, what could have happened due to the actions you have taken? What could happen if you dared to do what they did? How many biomes did you destroy to get your materials? How many ecosystems have you ravaged in the name of more ore, more animals, more XP, more? It's all we do. The Warden is Mojang's way of warning players of wanting more. It is metaphorically telling us to be grateful for what we have right now. After all, look what happened to those who sought more. That's the message that I get from it anyway. I think it's really easy to think of Sculk and the Warden as just some spooky mechanic and nothing more, but I think you could apply it to the human experience on a deeper level. To be clear, I don't think Minecraft probably made Sculk to be so profound and deep. I just personally like coming up with this meaning for myself. Ultimately, it's just how I experience it. Mojang has outright said they're not going to add any new dimensions to Minecraft, and I just think Sculk has an interesting way of conveying that and why it will never happen. But hey, you know what? In 5 years, they may change their mind, and maybe we'll get a cool update. But I'm not against the idea of the new dimension. I just don't think it's plausible at this time. Anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. There are tons of different mod packs and data packs about what a possible Sculk dimension could look like. But at the end of the day, I just don't think it's going to happen. And I would love to hear your ideas for it. I would love to hear all the crazy, wacky ideas that come out of a Sculk dimension for you guys. Personally, I get Cthulhu kind of vibes, you know, big tentacle monsters and stuff just kind of hanging out down there that can like one shot you at any time. That's the kind of vibe I get from it, right? Like, what would the Warden's homeland look like? Probably absolutely terrifying. Probably absolutely screwed up. Anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys want to support my work, you can just leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. But if you want to support me in a more direct way, you can leave a little super chat thing or whatever. You can buy a super chat in the comment section below. It's like, I don't know, however much money you want to donate. You can also become a channel member. You'll get videos early for the most part, unless I'm, you know, late and falling behind because of life. It happens sometimes. But you can get videos early, and I will be doing an unscripted podcast at some point, as well as take part in polls for like upcoming videos and things like that. So if that interests you, be sure to check that out. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye bye.